Welcome to the Indie Author Roadmap, the podcast for new and aspiring indie authors.
We're your hosts, Rachel and Rob, here to help guide you on your writing journey.
Join us each episode as we share tips, insights and practical advice to help you take the next steps towards becoming a successful indie author.
Whether you're working on your first book, navigating self-publishing, or looking to connect with fellow indie authors, this is the place for you.
So grab your notebook, settle in, and let's hit the road to your publishing dreams.
Because right in the end is just the beginning. Hello and welcome to Indie Author Roadmap, episode 5 on January the 1st, 2025. This is the first of the year. And very blurry-eyed at the moment because even though we're recording this ahead of time, I imagine that I'll be hungover, so I'm going to play that part of...
And I've caught a cold again, so we're as we started.
Fantastic, yeah. So on the first episode, you were full of a cold and I was hungover. I'm pretending to be hungover now because it's the 1st of January.
Yeah, but I'm actually full of a cold. So you've got loads of coughing to edit out again.
You're doing it for real, okay.
Yeah.
So today we're going to be talking about bookstrapping our books. Basically just getting your book, showing you or telling you how to get your book from right in the end to published. This is sort of the way everyone did it when they started. If you don't have any money in that, then there is a cheap way to get published and then work things out after. I am actually acting really hungover because it's really early. Right. So what are the 4 pillars, shall we say, of publishing your book, Rachel?
Formatting it, editing it, the book cover, and then publishing it.
Yes.
Not necessarily in that order.
No. Cover, editing, formatting, upload. Usually you upload it last. So that's,
yeah.
Well, but cover, editing and formatting, you'd need to edit it before you format it as well. Yeah.
Cover is the one kind of that floats around. Obviously, you've got to have it before you upload it, but you can literally have the cover before you even write. So,
yeah. When do you get your covers done?
It varies. Sometimes I'll get the cover before I've even got the story because I'll see a pre-made and I'll go and buy it. And I'm like, I have a story for that cover. Sometimes I've got the covers in advance, like for my Death Dealer series. I've got like the next 3 covers, and then some of them I'll write the story, and I'm like, I need a cover because I need to publish it next week. Yeah. I mean, I make my own covers, but I'm pretty much the same. I usually have the cover before the book's, definitely before the book's written, and sometimes before I've even started the book. Like this Easter one I want to do. Instead of writing notes and stuff, I decided to spend 2 hours designing the new cover because I love to procrastinate. Covers, I think you can spend as little or as much as you want. Like, I had a friend who spent about £1,500 on a cover because he paid for exclusive photos from a model and then had that made into a cover, so that photograph then couldn't be used anywhere else.
Yeah.
And then I've paid $50 for a cover. My very first, well, it's not my very first cover, but my first bought cover was $50, and that was just a cheap found something on Facebook cover. It was alright, did the job.
Have you ever attempted at doing your own covers?
Yeah, I made my very first covers, and they literally did look like someone had taken stock photographs and mashed them together.
And just slapped them on, just anywhere?
Yeah, at the time I thought they looked really cool, and then afterwards I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, I mean, I see these covers on Amazon and stuff all the time, and you just straight away you're like, yeah, that was self-published, and this must be the first book, because they don't. Usually you'll have like a really, really tiny author name in in the Times Roman
Yeah,
font, and then the it'll have like a Comic Sans font for the title, and it'll be something that Comic Sans has no reason being on the cover, like a horror or something with Comic Sans, and it's like, oh,
yeah,
you've just done it all wrong. Or you might have some floating eyes in the middle of the cover for no reason, just they're there. And I'm sure the authors are very pleased because they're excited about the book, just to have something, some sort of cover. But
yeah.
it looks shit, and that's not what we want when we're doing our covers. So the best way, if you don't have any money and you are doing your own cover, what would you suggest?
Well, I wouldn't know what to suggest if you are doing your own cover, because that's your thing. Although, it depends on people's views on AI, because you can get some really good AI options to start you off, and
Yeah, yeah, we need to talk
use
about it. I
those.
mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it's coming leaps and bounds, and there's some people that really don't like it.
No,
And
there is an AI art for authors group, and they've got loads of stuff in there about how to get covers, create covers in AI and stuff like that, and they're really good. And if you've got no money, an AI membership for $20 for the month is
yeah,
a good starting point. You can almost replace the cover if you don't like AI. When you've sold
exactly.
your
Yeah,
books.
I mean, I've designed some of the authors I've worked with. I've designed their covers, and they've wanted something so specific that I just can't find it on stock photos and
No.
stuff. There's one guy in likes really out there covers, and it was a shark in a trench coat holding a gun under the water. There's not many people have taken a picture of that,
No.
and then he wanted it animated but realistic, and I'm like, I'm never gonna find this. so so I went on Mid Journey, and we found something, and then I just spruced it up, and that he's not bothered
Yeah.
about AI, which is thank
No.
God, and it looks pretty good. It's we've managed to sort the colours out and stuff, so it's in line with
The,
his series branding. But
the
yeah,
other thing I was going to say, the other thing I've done is if you have got a budget for a cover, is there's so many options though, because especially this time of year, because it's the new year, if you go into like cover artists groups, they've usually got sales on, New Year, clearing all the stock out, ready for the next year. Just go and pick up a pre-made.
yeah, and they're reasonably cheap, aren't they? Like
Yeah,
$50.
and yeah, and the other one you can do is there's a book called Book Cover Marketplace, and you can literally go in there, say what you want, say what your budget is, and then different artists will pitch the covers at you. And I've got a cover doing that before now.
Oh, that's cool. So if you
Yeah,
were to write in a series and you got your first one from Book Cover Marketplace, you'd have the details of that designer, wouldn't you? And then I guess you'd
yeah,
work with that designer for the rest.
yeah. And I've gone in and before said I want a book cover, and I'm going to need 3 books in this series or whatever, and they usually come with stuff. In fact, you usually get loads, and you're usually like, I don't know what I'm doing, don't know which one I want.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've always designed mine, and it was going back to what I mentioned in previous podcasts that if someone can do the thing, I want to learn how to do the thing,
Mm.
and and if you are going to have a go at designing your own, start on Amazon. Start on Amazon and have a look in your genre, what you think you're going to be putting your book, what genre you think you're going to be putting your book in, and just see, because there's lots of different themes, and books don't want to. You want it to stand out for the story, but the cover you don't really want it to stand out too much because
No.
it needs to be with those, like your thriller, and you've got your guy running towards or away from you, silhouetted with the exciting background. That's what all thrillers seem to look like at the moment. Or your like my ladlets, or your chitlet is usually very focused on the font, big title with just a few little elements, usually vectors, incorporated into either the font or just hanging around the cover. I mean, what's your? I mean, you write in fantasy.
Yeah, well,
What
I've got
sort
the
of like
two. I've got I write the urban fantasy, so you've always got the person holding some kind of magic or something in the hand.
the glowing orb?
Yeah, that shows that it's fantasy, and then I've got my crime fiction, which is always like a scene setting thing. I see the popular one in the crime fiction at the moment is like a lane or a building, but it's always dark and gritty kind of image.
Yeah, yeah.
But the
And
image needs to say what the genre is without you be reading the title or anything like that. You need to look
yes, because
at it.
when people are scrolling, or when readers are scrolling, you've got a second, and the reader knows what they read, so
Yeah,
they'll be able to tell straight away what sort of genre it is if they're scrolling past or if they're clicking. And so you need to, with your cover, you need to be able to fit into that genre to tell the reader in a split second, yes, this is the
yeah,
thing you're interested in.
yeah. I mean, I had a cover designer once make me a cover. It was for my paranormal series that I'm writing, and they decided they were going to test a new kind of cover, and it was completely out there, and it was a really beautiful cover. But I was like, it doesn't fit the genre, and it doesn't fit the other books.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes there's book covers come along and they kind of redefine genres, but usually, I mean, like that I Am Pilgrim, where I mean, it's a thriller, but there's no, it's just a thumbprint on the
Right,
cover.
I've not seen that one.
Yeah, it was quite big a couple of years ago, and then everyone started doing that one thing. It's just a thumbprint, and I think I love simplicity in covers, and I loved that one.
Yeah,
And then the
it's like
second one,
50 Shades of Grey did that, didn't they?
yeah, just the
The
tie.
first cover was a tie,
Yeah,
and so everybody started putting just an object on the cover.
yeah, and yeah, when people E.R. James sort of with her stock photo, which it probably was,
Yeah,
uh, sort of redefined the genre in the covers, and then everyone started doing it. And didn't
yeah.
not Twilight, was is it Twilight?
Twilight with the
Yes.
apple in the hands.
Yeah, yeah, with the
Yeah,
yeah with the apple in the hands, and then
which
she had,
literally does not say vampire to me. You look at that book, you're like, this is not a vampire story.
but I mean, but I also have seen covers, really bad covers, where they'll have the backdrop of New York City, say, and then there'll be some eyes appearing out of nowhere and some fangs at the bottom,
Yeah,
and that does say vampire, but it just looks horrible.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Although,
So
funnily enough, they sometimes they still make a killing. There is I won't say who the author is, who has a very similar cover to that. Now they've got a very similar cover to what you're saying. It's the blended building with the eyes in the sky and the teeth at the bottom. They're making 17 grand a month. I'm like, you know, cool.
yeah.
But I
So
think they're
in other
they're
words,
rare.
don't listen to anything I've just said. I'm talking shit because this
Yeah,
person.
yeah. But I think they're rare.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah,
mean, do they have a massive following already? And are they,
yeah,
there's all those to take it. But for the new author, you sort of do want to fit in to the genre. Yeah, that's. I guess that's it. And if you don't have any ideas about covers and it's your first book, contact me and we'll have a chat.
yeah.
I'm sure I'll be able to steer you in the right direction. Although I think my divine ones are a little bit different from the genre, but I think that's because it's a bit of a genre mash, time travel and immortality and this, that, and the other. And I've put the all the writing like sideways down the side of the book, but I quite
Yeah.
like it. Sort of like playing around with the font and that. Yeah. So that's covers, isn't it? If you don't have any ideas,
Come into our group.
contact me and we'll have a chat. I love
Yeah.
talking about covers. I love
Or
all
they
that.
could come in the Facebook group.
Yeah, contact me on our Indie Author Roadmap Facebook group or the page. I can't actually. I don't know how to get back into the Facebook group. I can find the page. I can see it, but then it's saying you need to be a member, and I'm not a member of my own
Have you
group.
left somehow?
I don't know. I think when I created it, I might have created it with my other Facebook that I run my ads and stuff off. I don't know.
Maybe. Because I'm sure it says you're in there, you'll have to check it out.
Yeah. So I'm locked out of my own group at the moment, which I can see you all in there. I'm waving, but I can't get in.
I'll have to invite you in.
Yeah.
So what's next? Editing.
Editing. How do you edit your books?
I felt lucky because I have a friend who edits for me. So I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have my friend. I know when I when I was very first starting, I didn't have this friend and I didn't have any money for editing, and it was because I write like 100,000 words. You're talking 5, 6, £700 for editing, and I'm like, I just can't afford to put that money out there, and so I joined a thing called Scribblerphil where we did swaps and edited each other's chapters and stuff like that. That's
Oh,
how
that's
I
cool.
started, and that's actually how I met my friend. Is through just sharing
Yeah.
stuff, and now she
How does
edits.
that work? Is it just like a forum where you just swap books?
So
Or
you will post up your chapter that you need editing, but you can't get it open for edits until you've gone and edited some 3 other pieces, kind of thing. You earn credits by editing other people's work,
how
and
did that
then
start in the beginning then? Surely there must have
don't
been.
know. It was something I joined. I was originally part of an authors forum, and we used to every month you could put up one piece of fiction for some critique, and then you had to critique another two. So it was kind of where I started learning to do that because it was the only feedback I could get,
Yeah.
really. Um, yeah, and then it's yeah, I just did swaps with other people.
And just you just went through. Well, your
Yeah,
manuscript was edited that way.
yeah, and then I've met my friend, and she's like, "I'll edit for you," and I'm like, "Cool," because you're really good at it. So now I still don't pay for editing, but someone edits for me as I
She a
go
fan of
along.
your writing.
Yeah, yeah,
That's just really good at English.
yes, yes.
Right. So basically, the way
I
you edit
felt
is
lucky.
yeah. So the way you edit is you do your messy writing and then throw it over to her and she has to deal with it.
Well, I'll do my own editing first because, like we've talked about this before, how I'll do my messy writing and write the 2 drafts and stuff, and then I will edit it, and then I send it over to her. Although now we've got the AI stuff, I will kind of use AI for cleaning up things.
Yeah, I need
There's
to start doing that.
yeah, there's a ChatGPT is amazing for it. If you get the
Yeah,
right prompt, it won't change your stuff, but it really edits it. There's another one called Edit GPT, which is a good one,
yeah.
and
Does
I'll
it
use those.
when you put your stuff in? Does it give you? Does it just clear it up, or does it just give it you as suggestions so you can work through
Depends
it?
how you ask for it. So I have paid ChatGPT, so and I mean it's come on so much now that it can learn things. So I'll like feed it um, some of my edited work and say this is my voice and I need to stick to it, and then I'll ask it for whatever I want.
Right.
Sometimes I'll be like, just give me some suggestions to make this sound better because maybe I know I'm stuck on this bit, or please fix up typos, grammar, and punctuation, and don't touch any of the words. Depends what you want. It'll do it.
Cool.
So, and
ChatGPT.
I noticed the difference using that now because when I go and send it to my actual editor, she's like, "This is amazing," and so all my habits get removed.
Oh, yeah, yeah. The way I edit is I write chapter 3. The next day, before I start writing chapter 4, I'll read through, and I will be reading through it anyway, just to get back into the flow before I start chapter 4. But I'll edit as I go, and I've done that for the last few books, and it saves a lot of time at the end for me. Uh, Doing a read through and then a read through and then a read through, and it means that when I finish the book, I'm basically on to the third draft instead of the second draft, and
Yeah.
it's sort of like the book that I want it to be, and then I'll ship it over to the editor, and then give it to a few art readers who eagerly waiting, and that's my. I mean, I hate the self editing bit. I hate it
Yeah.
because I'm just I get so bored with the book, and when I finish the book, I'm already thinking about the next book to write. So I just don't want to bother with that one anymore. Which,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, the other
yeah,
part of
that's
my editing process that I use now, it's going to be AI again, but I'll put it into Speechify and I will get AI to read it to me because that will flag up words that are spelt correctly but are maybe in the wrong place.
yeah, and it can also that sort of thing when getting it to read to you where you sort because when you read it in your head, you know what you say, you
Yeah.
know what you're supposed to be saying, but if it actually reads it out loud, there might be pauses in the wrong place and stuff that you just miss because you just speed
And it
read it.
does all the time. It finds things, and I get because you can set the voices, so I have it set to Mr. Beast reading to me.
So that's editing. Self-editing is important, but then you need to give it away, don't you? You need to get
Yeah.
fresh eyes.
Although the other controversial one is just edit it to the best of your abilities and put it out because maybe you just don't have an editing budget, and then because you can always re-edit and then upload it. And I know
Yeah.
plenty of authors that start that way.
Yeah, I did that, but the danger of that is then getting you reviews that are saying, "Love this book, love the story, but it needs editing," and that's the risk.
It is, but again, you could literally unpublish the book and just republish it later. That's the beauty of indie author. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah, you could just re-put. Yeah,
Yeah,
if you
or you
start
can
getting
publish. You can update the version, and um, as the book sells with the updated edited version, that will sync those reviews.
yeah, so that's editing, and then we have formatting. How do you format your book? What is formatting?
Formatting is making it look really pretty, so it goes in. Well, it's actually making it readable in the book format or the e-format.
Yeah, formatting is taking your Word document or whatever document, put it in the magic machine, and out pops the actual ebook or the interior print files. I love
Yeah,
formatting me. Uh,
this
I
is the bit
don't
I
know
find
why.
boring.
Sorry,
This is the bit I find boring.
I don't know. I think because it's the end bit, so everything's done now. I'll have the cover, and I do it really granular as well. So instead of like uploading the whole document into my formatting software, which is Vellum, I'll copy and paste each chapter and bring it over and just make it. I don't know. It's just kind of like the final hurrah before
Yeah.
it's sent off, and I enjoy formatting other people's stuff as well.
See,
Don't know why.
I need to reformat all my books because things have updated, and I think when you first start, the format you put in your first book is not the same as you'll put in a book 10 years later because you
Yeah,
develop and stuff. So I need to go back, and it's been on my to do list for like 2 years now, of go back and format all my books and get them with the proper call to actions and stuff. And it's such an easy job, but I'm like, it's boring.
yeah. I mean, well, when you've got, I mean, I just did that with one of my series. Just completely went because, like you say, like as you're publishing your books, you front and back matter and stuff, and all that connected to the book changes
Yeah,
over years, and to update it, it can be a bit boring, especially if you've got quite a long series. It can be
yeah,
a bit boring.
yeah,
But the initial formatting of a book that you've just done, I enjoy that, and I do enjoy doing it for other authors because
yeah.
unless they have.
What do you use Vellum? I use Vellum.
I use Vellum. There's a few formatting softwares out there. There's
It's
Vellum,
quite pricey though, Vellum, isn't it? If you're just starting out, it's like $250 or something.
$250 for the ebook and the print interiors,
Yeah,
or
it's
I
good
think it's
though.
yeah, or I think it's 200. It might be even less for just ebook, but there's no sense in just getting
No,
ebook. And then you've got, and it's just for Mac.
one second,
Although, how
let me
do you
turn this
use it?
off.
Are you a Mac user?
I'm a Mac user, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's just software for Mac, Vellum.
Yeah.
And then you
You can
have,
use it through a Mac cloud if you
yeah,
wanted to.
yeah. I've heard of authors that use it through Mac Cloud or PC,
Yeah.
Windows, and you have to pay a couple of quid just as Mac Cloud's running, don't you?
Yeah. There's Atticus as well. I've only used it very briefly, that one.
Yeah, I've got it. I bought it thinking because I like the idea because it's cloud based, so you can be anywhere. You can have it on your iPad or you can have it on your phone even, whereas Vellum is just desktop. I thought Atticus, well, you can go anywhere. Thinking like
Yeah. Digital Nomad.
yeah, but also that's the one, yeah. But also I like the idea because it has you can write in it and format.
Yeah.
But I bought it and tested it. It's probably better now. I haven't updated it. I've just gone back to using Scrivener to write and then Vellum to format. But it was a bit buggy it was the first iteration that I bought when it
Yeah.
first came out. But so I like the idea behind it. I know a few authors that use it and love it. It's very customizable in the interiors and stuff, whereas Vellum you only get a few to choose from. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's $139, I
Something
think,
like that. I
something
know you can
like that.
also use. I've seen authors using things like InDesign to make their books, which would be
Yeah,
really
I've
good.
never
I've
used
never
that
done
one.
that. When I
I think
first
that's
was,
yeah.
when I
I think the InDesign. Oh, we're doing it. We're doing it.
go on, what are you saying?
Can't remember now. You go.
I was going to say when I first put my books out, 'cause it was like 2012 when I started as an indie author. There was no Vellum or Atticus; it didn't exist, and you used to have to download the template from Amazon, which I believe you still can, and it had everything embedded, all the fonts embedded in this, and so you had to paste every chapter in and
Right.
make sure it was and everything was on the correct page. So you know when it came as a print book in the days of Create Space as well, it was
Yeah.
correct. Yeah,
When I started formatting, I was working. I was writing in Word at the time, and I'd set it all out how I'd like it to be, and then I used to put it into Draft to Digital's formatting machine. But it was all behind these formatters these days. You have a pane next to where you're working that shows you exactly how everything will look like, which is great. Back then you didn't. You just kind of entered it in, downloaded it, and it spat something out, and it could be it could be completely different to what you put in just because of the your italics and your bold, and it didn't read them right, and then it'd have everything everywhere, and there's nothing you could edit really because you didn't have that control.
yeah,
I'm not sure what their draft to digitals is, but it was free.
yeah.
Uh, but there's quite a few free ones these days. Kindle
I think
Create.
I think you can still do draft to digital.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
that?
I'm gonna test a few free ones because this is about bookstrapping.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna
doing
test a
tape.
few and then and do a walkthrough. I started testing the Readsy one, and it was okay, but it was just because it was new software that I hadn't used before. I was getting a bit stuck, but I'll have a look through a few, and I might do a
Yeah,
few
just
walkthrough tutorials.
Does Kindle Preneur have one as well?
Maybe.
Maybe
Yeah, I'm not
Kindle
sure.
Preneur. I know they do one for help with your blurb.
Well, Kindle Puree, it's Atticus, isn't it? It's they're
Maybe,
not
yeah,
push that because it's
yeah,
Dave Chesington. They're both
yeah,
his babies, aren't they?
yeah, yeah,
So I'm not sure. Uh, but yeah, there's a few. There's Reads the Editor. There's Drafted Digital. There's the one that you can use inside your KDP dashboard.
yeah,
Although the cover options are crap.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I'll test a few. I'll test a few, and I'll do an example walkthrough, and I'll put them in the links section. I've got a couple of days before this goes live.
yeah. And if you want any of the paid services as well, if you complete something like NaNoWriMo, they've always got vouchers for like 50% off, 25% off. If you do
Do
want to
they?
invest in them, yeah,
What, like off Vellum and
yeah,
Atticus?
yeah. They've usually got someone's stuff on there. That's how I got my Scrivener. I got it through Nano. I got like 50% off.
Oh, Scrivener. I mean, I use Scrivener, but I hate the way when if they're doing an update, that's fine. But then when they come bring out the next version, you just have to rebuy it.
Yeah,
That's in the middle. I'm not sure, but then when you rebuy it, you don't use any of the new things because you're just used to using.
yeah. You're just used to what you
Yeah,
used to. Yeah, but
yeah,
if the new version comes out, I always go and because I always do Nano and stuff, and there's Camp Nano and stuff. You can always get the discounts. I'm pretty
yeah.
sure I got a Vellum discount that way. I think I only paid like 199 for mine.
Uh, so that's covers, editing, formatting,
Formatting.
then upload. Where do you upload your books to? Because you've been wide for a
Yeah,
time.
some books are wide, some are um, KU, Amazon, and then I use Draft to Digital
Right.
as
So Amazon
aggregator.
is for when you get up to uploading. Amazon is obviously the biggest bookshop in the world, and it's a dead easy walkthrough, isn't it? To upload,
Yeah,
it's a little wizard. It's 3 pages. You put all your details and stuff in, and then if you're going to go wide, so you're not exclusive to Amazon, and if you're not in KDP, if you're not in Kindle Unlimited, you should be wide really because
yeah,
that's the only reason you wouldn't be. I guess I should explain what these things are though. I'm just saying them to
yeah.
you.
Maybe
Go
we
on.
need a walk. Maybe we need to do a walkthrough of especially Amazon.
Yeah. Although wide versus KU, that's an episode in
That's a whole
itself.
debate on its own. Yeah, yeah,
Let's do that one soon.
yeah. Because it's one of those decisions, isn't it, that people
Yeah,
make?
yeah.
Yeah,
I've
but
tried both, uh, but I find with the overwhelm in the brain, for me, it's a lot easier just to have everything in one place at the moment. When the brain goes away and I don't have that overwhelm, I might actually do it and go wide.
yeah, yeah,
But the only problem then is you've got all these KU readers that all of a sudden you're sticking your middle finger up to.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. But they're both free to upload on.
yeah.
Yeah,
Upload those.
the only thing with them, especially is if you're not American, is making sure to get your American tax number because then you will lose 30% of your royalties if you don't have it.
Oh yeah, that's such a.
Yeah,
It's
you get
weird. Yeah,
30%
yeah,
withholding if you
EIN
don't.
number.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Luckily,
it's
it's one of those things. Once you've got it, you've got it. But you've got to get it. Because I made that mistake when I first published back in 2012.
yeah,
I hadn't got it, and they did the 30% withholding, and they withheld about $1,000 off me. So
oh,
I got it back. You've got it. You've got to argue it back,
yeah.
but it's a pain. So it's free to upload to these places, but to get paid out, you've got to make sure, especially if you're not in America.
Well, the EIN number. If you don't have one, if you're not actually a business, if you put your national insurance in there, I think your national insurance number, I think that kind of does it. I
So
can't
that didn't
remember.
work. That didn't work for me. Although they might have changed it because I've just literally, you probably have to do it as well. Just done the tax interview that you have to do at the end of the year on KDP,
Yeah,
or they deactivate you, and they requested the UTR. Your
uh,
unique tax reference. So
yeah, UTR.
yeah, so the setup on that might have changed. Now maybe you don't need your TIN. I'm not sure.
This last 5 minutes of conversation. If there's any new authors, don't worry about it too much. Scribbling down all these acronyms. Oh
No,
my god! Oh shit!
this is one I think we need to do a walkthrough on how to set your KDP account up and the bits at the end that you've got to fill in to make sure you get
Yeah,
paid
well,
properly.
yeah. So, do you know what? I'd love to, especially with these these 4 bits, not so much editing because I hate editing, but to actually do over the shoulder, follow me if I can. I'd love to get a cover or design an idea and then just film it, like creating a cover from scratch, or the formatting, going through that and stuff. So I think I will. I think I'll do
Yeah.
that. Although it probably won't be. It won't be ready for when this episode goes live on the first. I mean, because it's the first now.
Yeah. It's
But
not the
yeah,
first you picked
in
up.
the future, bit, once we start populating our Patreon account, this is all the
Yeah.
stuff that could go in there, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, yeah, just lessons on how to do stuff.
Yeah. So those are sort of like the 4 areas. If you're a new author, you need a cover, you need it editing, you need it formatting, and you need to upload. No bells and whistles. That's going from type in the end to published author.
Yeah.
There's a lot more things that you should be doing, like when we were talking in the episode 3 about creating a following through social media and just becoming active and stuff. But if you just want your book up there for all the world to see, those are
That,
the 4 bits you need to do, really, aren't they?
yeah, those are the bits you can't avoid at all.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the bookstrapping version.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, because it is the first, obviously. Let's talk about Thrive for 25 that starts today,
Yeah.
and a 100-day writing challenge, and then also I want to talk about Adam's thing because we're both doing that, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you Thrive for 25, go on.
Right for 25 is writing for or spending 25 minutes on your book every day, whether that's editing, reading it, daydreaming about it, writing it. It's 25 minutes.
25 minutes minimum, yeah.
Yeah. And it can be
And
2 sessions, 3 sessions.
yeah, yeah. As long as it's 25 minutes and you do that, it would equal, if you're writing 25 minutes, call it about 500 words. That would be 2 novels a year for nothing, really.
Yeah.
But it's just about getting that routine, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that consistency in your writing.
Habit.
And I've done mine today, this morning. I did
I have
25
written.
minutes
I've written
of
this morning.
Richardson. So,
I've not written Witchy Witcherson, but I've written.
but wow, you need to do another 25 minutes.
I know.
This,
I know.
this is our Thrive for 25 book. This was your idea.
No. Well, I've done my 100 days of writing then, because I've actually written.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, day 1. And I think I'll be putting posts, like accountability posts up and stuff
Yeah.
today. And yeah, I finished my first chapter of Witcher Richardson, so I'll send that across to you for you to have a look at. And then also, with it being the first, a friend of both of ours, AP Beswick, who has a marketing group called Novel Gains. He's very into organic marketing and not spending on Facebook and stuff, doing it, putting the time in, being consistent with video marketing and finding a following that way through social media. He's just started a challenge today. I'm not sure, I think it's the month-long one.
Yeah.
Is it just,
Yeah.
yeah. So throughout January, he did it last year, just for 30 days, posting on your TikToks about just book ads about your books, TikTok,
Instagram.
and Instagram. It's those 2 more than anything, isn't it? Those are the
Yeah.
ones that he's
Yeah.
massive on. So we're both following that, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna try and not fall off the wagon.
And well, we can talk more about that next week when it's actually the first and we've done it.
Yeah. Yeah. See,
Yeah.
my problem is because I've got 2 pen names, so I have to do the challenge twice.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I do 3 for Rob Radcliffe and 3 for RJ, and you've got Rachel Morton and X.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it would be good. I mean, I've seen some of the results from some of his students. It just hits the ball out of the park. Is that the
Yeah.
one? Yeah, but yeah, it's
And
still
I think his point is about getting out of your own way, and that's definitely my problem. I overthink it and get in my own way.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I've spoken several times, millions of times over the years with him, and he's just do it. Just do a
Yeah.
video. Don't be so precious about this one video. It's just like putting a post on Facebook. Just
Yeah.
do it and move on to the next one, and you
And
get
it's stupid as well because I can remember when I first started self-publishing, there was no Facebook ads and there was no Instagram, and you literally shared your book in reader groups, and you could get the visibility. And so every morning, first thing I would do every morning would get the link to my book, get a little snippet that I wrote about it, and go around all these Facebook groups that I had saved, and it would take me about half an hour. And that's how I built my following up. But it is literally the same thing. It's just a video now.
yeah, and half an hour. Like Adam
Yeah.
says, that when he first started doing it, it took him a little bit longer, but now half an hour, and he's got his 3, 4 videos saved for the day on his
Yeah.
phone, and he'll just post them at certain times to hit different territories,
Yeah.
and
And
it's
it
the same
was
videos then on Instagram.
it was funny as well when we all met up in Manchester.
Yeah,
It's 3 years ago now, is it?
yeah,
He'd just done his TikTok and he was saying it's earned him £300 that month.
mm.
Now look at him, he's like at sometimes 2,000 a day, isn't he?
Yeah. When he's
He got
yeah,
addicted to doing it.
yeah, he did get addicted to me. I was his running partner when we started TikTok, and I was trying to do funny little skits to promote my my ladlet stuff that didn't really have anything to do with books, and they'd take ages editing in that. He was like, right, this straight away. He thought, this is an ad for my book. I'm not interested in anything else but to promote my book, and that's what he did. He 30-second, dead quick, 30-second promotions, but be consistent with it. And I'm saying these words, but in my brain, I'm going, yeah, but you have to keep doing it, Rob. Yeah, but you have to
Yeah,
keep doing it, Rob. But that's what I'm doing this,
yeah.
as
And
well as the writing.
that's what our
Uh,
Thrive for 25 and 100 Days of Writing is. It's about being consistent.
exactly, yeah. In everything, in all endeavours
Yeah.
in your book business, and but I've seen some of the results people have had uh, by following the Beswick method, and it's
Sasha
great.
Black,
Yeah, she was making about 40 grand a year, and
still
then
decent, yeah.
she started TikToking, and then boom, six
Yeah.
figure author, and it
Yeah,
costs nothing but
I think
time.
on her podcast I listened to the report after it, and she was at something like 106,000 for the year.
Right?
So she just made it into the six-figure author.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and it costs no money; it just costs time.
yeah.
Uh,
So that
uh,
is also part of the bookstrapping. It's free advertising.
yeah, exactly. I mean, we don't know what at the moment. TikTok might get banned in the United States, so we don't know what's going to go on there. But a new one will come along.
Yeah.
They always do. So I
Instagram
reckon,
reels.
yeah. Although there's probably something waiting in the sidelines for TikTok to get banned, and then jump
Yeah.
in and go, we're the alternative. You know, because America's a massive market, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And now we're at the end of the session because we're both going,
Obviously, Rob, it's massive. Captain Obvious to the rescue. Right, so Witcher Richardson, an author mate of mine, actually, he listened to the podcast. Oh, we went live on the podcast. How was that? How was that doing
I thought it
the
was quite
launch
cool
party?
actually. We got more people watching than I expected. I expected it to just be me and you.
Yeah, just me and you chatting to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. That was the first time you watched, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd never watched it before.
No.
Yeah.
And I was scrambling about thinking that uploading the podcast audio to the places would be dead quick
Yeah.
in something I've never done. And although we've got it up in some places, Apple Podcasts is going to take a little bit longer, and there's a few others that are Still deciding whether we're allowed.
But
But we're up on
it's on
Spotify now.
Spotify, on YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Are we
and
going to
this,
drop them into our Patreon?
yes, I'm gonna start populating that stuff with things. We need to
Yeah.
do some more blog posts as well, don't we?
Yeah. Maybe that's another challenge. We do one alternate weeks each.
Yeah. See, I've done a blog post for this particular episode, and that's my notes here. But I want to do a bit of testing for the free formatting softwares, and do some over the shoulder videos that we can put on there, which should be good.
Yeah. What we're going to talk
Yeah.
about next week.
And what is the plan for? Oh yeah, so we are now a global podcast. We've been listened to in US, UK, obviously people can understand us here. Australia, Germany, I think, although I couldn't find, and Canada,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah.
There's been no expectation though, has there? We just
No, it's just enjoying doing it.
just chatting about shit.
Yeah. Right, what are we talking about next week?
I don't know. Do you want to talk about next week?
Well, actually, what we could do on the next one, because it will be beginning of the year, is our goals for 2025.
Yes.
We could
Should
do
we
a
start
goal
that bit
setting
again?
one.
So what are we talking about on next week's episode?
But it might be a little bit late because it will be like 6th or 7th of January, but we can talk about some goal setting for 2025.
That's
and our
fine.
goals.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be, if they're listening to this one on the 1st, they're going to be rough anyway. And hungover. They're not going to. It'll be fine.
Yeah, but yeah, our goals for 2025, and then setting goals, I reckon.
Yeah, and we're hoping to have some news about a test subject next week.
Yeah.
But more on that next week, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to speak to him. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Hopefully, yeah, that'd be fun. But yeah, more on that next week if it comes to fruition. If not, then ignore that bit. Doesn't matter. So that's been us, hasn't it? On the first one of 2025.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
Yeah.
and I
Happy
shall
New
see you
Life.
next week.